Once upon a time, there was a landlocked kingdom, and in that kingdom lived a mermaid called Spirulina. Her hair was a deep green and slightly blue colour, and she worked as a full-time model for a hairbrush company. Spirulina sometimes struggled to get around because the kingdom was designed by humans for humans. She loved her tail, but she hated the fact that people walked and drove, and no one thought it would be profitable to make a vehicle that could be operated by a tail. Spirulina's dating profile said that algae are better than people, and thus she was still single, but Spirulina was okay with that. In her home, she kept a big tank of algae, and every day she would have long conversations with them about the weather. But the weather doesn't change much, and eventually she got bored. Spirulina decided to take over the kingdom. Spirulina started by eating her algae, and when her brain was full of omega-3, she lay down to write her plan. The next day, Spirulina paddled to the job centre and got hired as a cleaner for the kingdom's headquarters. With mop socks on her fins, she lay down like one of the French ladies. But the men did not care. They were only there for the free coffee. Spirulina heard all their secrets. With her head full of marketing projections for the next spring, the mermaid went home, where she realized she was very lonely without her algae. The next day, Spirulina quit her cleaning job, took a snack break, and then went to the pharmaceutical store and asked the manager why they never tried their own supplements. The manager swallowed a whole tub of fatty acids, packaging and all, and when the brain worked a little better, they realized that Spirulina would be better suited to the job. They hired her and went home. Spirulina could now move around the store on her spinny manager chair. Her plan was working. With the help of the spinny chair, Spirulina was now able to reach the printers. She made some posters which said, "I'm self-aware enough that marketing will not affect me," and stuck them on the floor outside the shop, as she could not stand to reach the windows. Luckily, the people in the kingdom all looked where they were going, and because they identified with the poster, they walked straight into the shop. Business boomed, and within a few years, Spirulina was earning more than the car companies. She bought them all and converted the cars to be fin-operated. When the old cars broke down, the mermaid was the only one in the kingdom able to drive. Finally, the people understood what it was like to not have the equipment that allows them to get to places. But Spirulina was not mean. She didn't want people to have to walk on their slow legs forever, and deep down, she was quite bored of them. As always, algae were better than people, and so it was time to leave the land where all the algae had been eaten. Once she was gone, the people would be free to make cars suited to their needs again. Spirulina drove and drove for many hours, but a car could not take her to a place with any living algae. Eventually, she settled in a location called the Kingdom of the Holland and the Barrett. There she found a row of vegan, algae-derived, omega-3 capsules, and spent the rest of her days in long, one-sided conversations with the juice of her favourite creatures.